I'd like to now give you a bit of advice and help on how to write articles. Now, writing articles is something that comes naturally to some people and it doesn't to others. If you're one of these people that struggles a little writing articles, then you're going to find this video very, very interesting. I'm going to show you a quick technique for writing an article, and basically you can hammer out an article in less than 10 minutes, if not quicker. I mean, I can write articles in 2 or 3 minutes using this technique. All you need to do is do a little bit of research. So firstly, you need to do your keyword research. You need to know what keywords you are targeting in the product that you're marketing. So understand that. You need to pick 2 or 3 keywords that you're going to use in your article. Don't pick more than that, and don't try and just focus on one and stuff it in there, because a lot of article directories don't like that and will turn your article down. Now you need to pick a subject to write about. Now, if this is something you already know about, then it's going to be very easy for you, because obviously you know the subject. If it's not something you know about, you're going to have to do some research. Go to Google, type in your keywords, look at what pages come up, look at the common problems people are facing, look at the common questions they have, look at how they solve these problems, go through forums and social networking groups and so on and so forth. All this is research, and if you don't know much about the subject, then you have to do this. Now, a word of advice here: any old Joe can publish anything on the internet. There's no proofreading, there's no checking of facts or anything else. So if you find something and you're not sure about it, go and check it. The reason being that people can publish all sorts of wrong information, and if you research your article and you find that wrong information and use it in your article, then you're propagating falseness. And if the people know anything about their niche and they've come and read your article, they're going to know that, and it's going to destroy your credibility. So cross-reference facts and make sure they're right. I mean, one thing that's always good, one of my favourite ways of researching, is to go and get my encyclopedias out. I have a complete set of encyclopedias on the bookcase next to me. I'll go through those. Those are very, very good for non-internet marketing niches. I also have several thousand books on all sorts of subjects, and again, you can go through those, you can pick up ideas, see the common problems people face. Very, very good way of researching articles and the like. And not a lot of people use it. You have a local library near you, go and use that. There's loads and loads of books and magazines. Magazines are particularly good. They've obviously got much more current information than perhaps a book will have. So look in the magazines, you'll find stuff there. Now, the first thing you need to do when writing your article is to write an eye-catching title, okay? Now, the reason being, it's like the headline of a sales letter. The title might be the one thing your potential buyer sees that gets their attention and gets them to read. Don't make it wishy-washy or vague. Make it precise, make it positive, make it eye-catching, make it the sort of thing that when someone sees it, they go, oh, I've got to find out more. You've got to build that curiosity, that need to know what's inside the article. Then, below your title, write out 4 or 5 main points that you want to cover in the article. These could simply be sentences. You don't need to write anything more at the moment. Just cover, don't worry about the introduction and the end note at the moment. Just write 4 or 5 points that you feel you want to cover in the article. How to do, why this is a problem, how to solve it, another way of solving it, and so on and so forth. That's all you need to do. Then expand each one of those into a paragraph or 2 or even 3. And if you find that the article's getting too long, if it goes above sort of 400 to 500 words, you may want to split the article into 2. Maybe put one half on an article directory, another half on one of your sites, or maybe it'll be 2 different articles for 2 different sites, or maybe it'll be 2 different article entries on the same Squidoo lens or something like that. And it's not too difficult to do it this way, because all you do is you just write around that that single sentence that you've written down and turn it into a paragraph. So the one sentence becomes sort of 2 or 3 sentences or 4. Very, very easy to do. Then write an introduction. all the introduction is, it's a paragraph where you tell them what you're going to tell them in the article. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then you've got to write an ending. And all the ending is tell them what you've told them, and, you know, tell them how good, you know, your solution is. You don't sell your product in the actual article or anything like that. You can sort of mention it, and mention it by name in passing, but don't try and sell it in the article. If you try and sell it in the article, again, you're going to find yourself turned down by article directories. Article directories want information, not sales messages. Your sales message really goes into your resource box, which we'll talk about in a moment. Now, your resource box basically is the piece of text that goes at the bottom of the article that gets people to click through to your website. You've got to focus on one thing and one thing only in the resource box. That is getting people to click through to come to your website. Don't worry about making sales. Don't worry about getting people to sign up to your list or anything like that. Focus 100% on the click through to your website. And if you can do that, then you'll get people coming through to your website. Now, when you're doing this, you may want to offer a bribe. You may want to offer, the rest of the article on your site or something. Give them a reason why they need to come through to your website. In your resource box, also include at least one of your keywords as a hyperlink, an active link through to your website. This is going to help your SEO. Now, when you're writing your resource box, be aware that different article directories have different requirements. Some will allow 1 link, some will allow 2 links, some will allow 5 links. Some allow you 300 characters, some allow you, 500 words. It all depends on the article directory. So, every time you create a different length resource box for a particular niche, particular product that you're promoting, keep a copy of that resource box on your computer. You may want to use it again, or just change it slightly for the next article directory. Your articles need to be around 500 words. As short as 400 is good enough. Don't go much above sort of 500-600. If you go above sort of 600, you really need to break your article down into 2. Maximise the bang for your bucks, if you like. 400 to 500 is the magic length. Most article directories will accept anything over 400. Ezine articles, I believe, accepts anything over 250 words. So, that's even better for you. But you've got to write enough to convey your authority and expertise. So, just writing an article that's 250 words may be too short to get your point across. Write as much as you need to in order to get your point across. But if it's going too long, you've got to look at breaking it down into more than one article. And when you're writing the articles, focus on literally 1 or 2 keywords. Write naturally as if you're speaking to someone. Don't try and write in a stilted format where you're trying to manipulate the text for the search engines. I've never met a search engine yet that has a credit card and is going to come and buy your product. But people do. And write for people. Because, I've personally gone out and looking for articles and looking for information. And I found articles that have been written for search engines and spiders, and they are so stilted and hard to read. And not being funny, I'm not going to buy anything from that. It's dreadful. The article doesn't make sense. You've got to write naturally. You're talking to a human being, not a search engine spider. The search engine spiders will work out what you're talking about and rank you appropriately. And long term, writing like this will be much, much better for you and give you better results. And don't keyword stuff. I know people that try and get the keyword in literally every sentence, and a lot of article directories now check that and will turn you down, and that's the last thing you want. Make sure you spell and grammar check it as well. There's nothing worse than reading an article where the grammar's dreadful and the spelling's terrible. It sends up a sort of a red flag to your reader saying, this person is not an expert, they can't spell right. If English isn't your first language, get a native speaker to check it, or run it through, the Microsoft Word spell check. That picks up most things. Just spell check it and make sure it's right. It conveys a degree of professionalism if you do. If you don't spell check it, then it casts a doubt on the product that you're selling. The product you're selling may be the best in the world, but if your article promoting it isn't, then people are going to doubt the quality of the product, even if you didn't create the product. That's how people think. And you've got to write naturally. Remember, you're writing for a person to read. You're not writing for a search engine. And if you write naturally and just like you're chatting calmly and friendly, you're going to find that people will appreciate that. Now, obviously, if you're writing for certain niches, you need to change your style of writing. If I'm writing for CEOs, I'd write in a very authoritative, very business fashion. I'd use long words, I'd use business terms and so on. If I'm writing for a specific technical niche or scientific niche, again, I would write in a very authoritative, formal fashion using appropriate terminology. Now obviously if I'm writing for skateboarding niche, I would use their sort of terminology and style of writing. You've got to communicate in the language that the niche that you're marketing to expect. There's no good me writing for, say, the skateboarding or surfboarding niche in a formal, scientific manner, because you know what? They're all going to read it and go, huh? It's going to be completely alien to them. You've got to write in the style that they're expecting, and that will make your articles much more effective. Now, that's my way of writing articles. It's very, very quick, very simple, and if you know the niche and you know a little bit about the subject, you can write articles like that in 5 to 10 minutes. Really, you can. Even if you type fairly slowly, you can still do it in that speed. Now, one tip before we finish this video: if you're someone who struggles typing, and you don't type very fast, then you have two options. Okay. Now, your article marketing, as you know, is a numbers game. The more articles you can get out there, the more you can earn. If it takes you an hour and a half to write an article, then obviously you can't produce that many in a day. So what can you do? Firstly, go and learn to type. I'd recommend this anyway, regardless, because it will pay off long term. If you can type 100 words a minute accurately, then that's going to give you much more productivity than someone who can write at 30 words per minute with a 50% accuracy. So go onto eBay and find a copy of Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing. Mavis Beacon's been around for years. It's one of the best typing programs there is, and I can't recommend it strongly enough. So go and check that out. You can pick an old copy up. You don't need the latest version. Any old copy will do. You can pick an old copy up for probably a few dollars. Now, the second option, again, go to eBay to buy this, is something called Dragon Naturally Speaking. It's basically all you need is a good quality microphone. You spend a couple of hours training it, and then you can talk, and it will turn your speech into text. It's a really, really good way to write articles and do anything on the computer for people who don't want to learn to type. Not everybody wants to, or wants to put the time in it. Dragon Naturally Speaking will allow you basically to get typing very, very quickly, get articles out almost as quickly as you can speak. Now, obviously, it's never going to be 100%. It's very, very close. It's very good, but you've got to spend the time teaching it, and then you just spend a minimum amount of time editing your article and making sure it's correct. And that will allow you to get your articles out much, much quicker. But obviously, if you're doing that, you need to know what you're talking about and being able to talk in the format of your article. So, those are two options to help increase your productivity when writing articles. But articles are the fundamental cornerstone of affiliate marketing. And the more you can do, the more you can earn. And with this technique, hopefully, it will help you to reduce the time it takes you to write articles, so increasing your productivity and your profitability.